feeling that I just can't turn it loose.
Sing, Cisco.
That somebody's been getting next to you. I don't want to walk around knowing I was your fool.
Yeah.
Cause being the man that I am,
Sing.
I just can't lose my cool.
You're an ass. Oh my God.
My friends keep
You're not done.
Goddamn, my headphones came.
That's what you get. That's what you get.
For being ridiculous.
Just
praise the Lord,
doing
niggas.
too much. Shout out to Cisco. We love Cisco.
We love Cisco so much for all of his screaming.
Oh my gosh. Cisco is a vocalist.
He is.
Say what you want to say about Cisco. However,
he's a vocalist.
He be singing.
He does.
He sings hard. Like, I feel like all his toes be scrunched up in his shoes when he sings.
They do, actually.
He just be out here just...
That's because he's small. Yeah! He's small, but he's mighty. Yeah! Yeah! I don't know what that was. Sounded like constipation. Praise the Lord, niggas. Welcome back to an episode of Getting Grown with Jade and Keia. I'm Jade.
I'm Keia. And here we talk about all things adulting. The good, the bad, the ugly, the tests, the trials, the twists, the turns, the temptations, and the taxation of being an adult in the year of our Lord 2018.
How are you, sis?
I'm all right. I'm doing okay. Can't complain. Yeah. Busy, but working. And checks are clearing. Hallelujah.
The checks are clearing.
Thank you, Jesus.
That is always a word.
Wow. How are you?
I'm tired, but I'm here, and I'm also working, and I'm moving, and I'm grooving, and I'm getting ready to go pack, and
yeah, girl,
you know what I'm saying? Look at my family for a little bit.
Bookingtons.
We're booked because we're booked and we're busy. How was your weekend?
My weekend was just so exciting.
Wasn't it?
It was filled with all kinds of emotion.
It was. And I think we're going to get to that in just a little bit.
Yes, indeed.
In our shout out.
Absolutely.
But let's take out some trash first.
Let's do it right now.
Okay. So I can't hear anymore after I yanked my headphones out. Do I need them? Okay. I'm good.
Okay.
All right. Taking out some basura today. First, we're going to discuss the anti-basura.
Yes, indeed.
Beyonce.
My edges are still smoking.
Did you watch?
Oh, my word.
Oh, you stayed up.
I didn't stay up.
Okay.
I watched some, there were some videos. Yes. They're not really clips, but somebody actually you know how you can record your screen?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody did that for the whole thing.
Oh, nice.
And posted them on Facebook, part 1 and part 2.
Oh, hallelujah.
And I watched it on the train on the way here.
Beyonce, it was not Coachella.
It was Baychella.
But
the thing is, it was also Blackchella.
It was very Blackchella.
Because Beyonce was so black. She sung Lift Every Voice and Sing.
She made sure that she brought all of her Negro out, and I appreciated every bit of it.
I was doing my makeup when I was watching it first, and I literally put my makeup brush down. And I was in the bathroom sing with both hands in the air. Sing, Beyonce!
Oh, gosh, you made me so happy. She makes me happy. And then when her and Solange danced together.
It was like a moment.
I was like,
I was triggered a little bit because of siblings.
I get
Howsoever, I thought it was just, there was nothing wrong. There was nothing wrong with the performance as far as I'm concerned. Vocally, I mean, people say what you want. Be mad, hate Beyonce, all you want. But Beyonce puts on a show.
She puts on a show.
She sings like it's actually her actually singing.
Yes.
There's so much musicality and creativity and innovation in the production of the music. And it's just an experience. There was over 200 dancers.
Over 200 dancers.
Full band.
Beyonce always on the beat.
Bruh.
She hits every step, every note. So if you're just a hating ass nigga if you can't appreciate the work that she puts in. And then on top of that, she goes vegan. That's dedication. Because I'm not doing it.
Point me in the general direction of the chicken.
Not doing it.
I mean,
we actually had Popeyes in the green room while we were getting ready for the live show.
Because chicken is life. It was life unto me.
It was there. I didn't get to eat any, but it was there nevertheless.
I didn't have any because I was concerned that if I ate too much, I would vomit. Howsoever,
that is
the chicken was there. for our friends to enjoy.
It was.
And we're very grateful.
Chicken must always be in the place. I'm
Absolutely.
sure Beyonce had Popeyes for the backup dancers, though.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And I feel like, now that she's back in performance mode, she is, vegan Beyonce. But
yeah.
But Beyonce,
remember that. Even runners have to eat carbs.
I think she eats carbs.
She eats carbs. She just don't eat the meat products while she's the animal products.
But thank you for rearranging our wigs, Beyonce, for yet another time.
Snatching everybody's edges bald, everybody's heads, everybody's out here looking like Wakanda forever. A Koyo out this bitch because you took everybody's follicles.
Man, and I hope that it will be available for us to continue to watch.
I hope so. Put it on HBO. HBO.
Like, can we get I'd be willing to pay to have it, that performance. I would download that performance. And
I absolutely would.
Over and over again.
I absolutely would. I think the only albums I purchased probably in the last 8 years are Beyonce albums. So
I mean, honestly.
Next on the list.
All right.
Have you heard about WakandaCon?
No.
There is a thing coming called WakandaCon.
And what is that?
It is a festival or whatever you want to call it.
Oh boy.
Of basically black texts. So you have Comic-Con and you have all the cons. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What do you call those things?
Comic-Con. Like cons? Conferences or
conventions? Conventions. Thank you so much. Couldn't get my life together. Convention. So they're going to have a WakandaCon because there's so many people in black technology and STEM and black superheroes and you know what I'm saying? There's a lane.
This is right up my street.
Yeah. So I'm super hyped for it. You can come. We can dress as the Dora Milaje and walk up in this bitch.
I am the sitting president of the DMV chapter of the Dora Milaje.
Vice president.
Indeed. So wait a second. When is this happening?
So according to Complex, festivities will be kicking off in Chicago August 3rd and set to end on August 5th. And one of the convention's co-founders, Ali Bartwal, says it will honor Afrofuturism, tech, and entertainment and will include other black superheroes in film, gaming, television, and comic books.
The answer is yes.
Absolutely. So I'm very, while I am not, those are not my lanes, I'm super excited that it is a lane being created for my people who are into all of that, because I have plenty of friends who are, and I think that this is long overdue, and I'm so happy that somebody was able to bring that into fruition.
Sure, you're right.
And then we're going to close out with actual trash.
Oh, boy.
Boycott Starbucks.
So let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So I believe it according to CNBC.com, on Thursday, April 12th, 2 African-American men entered the Starbucks in Philadelphia on Spruce Street.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, from what I understand, they went into the Starbucks and asked to use the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
And the Starbucks staff told them that you had to pay to use the restroom or to buy something.
Mm-hmm.
They sat down because, we later learned that they were waiting to meet a friend there.
Right.
They sat down. I don't know if it's been confirmed whether or not Starbucks staff asked them to leave.
Mm-hmm.
But they sat down and the Starbucks staff called the cops and said that they were trespassing.
That is... Tell the people why it is most unfortunate. Richard Ross.
Oh, yes. So the police commission... Okay, so the men were arrested. There is someone who was at the Starbucks recorded the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So you see the cops there talking to the men, asking them to leave. And, the men are just asking why. From what you can tell, from what the perspective of the video, it doesn't appear that anyone is shouting or, acting, erratically. Mm-hmm. There's, from what I can see, the men sat with their hands on the table, visible the whole time.
Yep.
And the police were, speaking to them and they were questioning and asking why. Mm-hmm. Other people who were sitting in the Starbucks also started to ask the cops, why are you bothering them? They're not doing anything.
Yep.
And then the person who they were going to meet, who was a white man, came in and, was just like, well, can you tell me why you are, bothering them? There's other people that are in here. And, you can see that there's an exchange going on between them. So they were arrested, the two men, and they were not charged because there was not enough evidence to charge them for anything. But the police commissioner in Philadelphia, his name is Richard Ross, said he knew the incident had prompted a lot of concern, but he said that his officers did absolutely nothing wrong. He made a video statement, and Ross said the employees at the store called 911 to report a disturbance and trespassing. And when the officers arrived, Ross said staff told him that the two men had wanted to use the restroom but were informed it was only for paying customers, and the pair repeatedly refused to leave when asked politely by the employees and the officers. So he's saying that Starbucks had every right to call the police. And he said that as a black man, he is familiar with how implicit bias works. So he understands, all of that. But he maintains that his officers were acting in compliance with policy.
Fuck that nigga, because that's trash. Like, you are a black man, and I don't care if you're part of the police force. These men were not outright. They were not irate. They were not acting out. Listen, as a person who has worked in establishments where I understand that you want those who patron the establishment to purchase products. Like, you're not here to just give out air conditioning and water to people. So I understand that. If you don't want to let them use the bathroom because they're not purchasing anything, they don't have to use the bathroom. But I know 935 white people right now in this very second, probably on the very block that I'm on, who are sitting in somebody's coffee shop and not purchasing a single
and not doing
thing
anything,
right now.
Just sitting.
And you talk about, how implicit bias works. Do you know how explicit bias works?
This is what I'm saying. Because this
is ridiculous.
He said that as an African-American man, he was acutely aware of implicit bias. And I was like, well, I need him to get acutely aware of explicit bias.
I'm acutely aware that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because you're speaking things, you're not speaking sense right now. And it really frustrates me, especially in the age that we're living in and all that we've witnessed, when people involve law enforcement knowing how that can go left real quick.
Right.
With young black people.
So the young lady who posted the video initially on Twitter, that is now viral, her name is Melissa DePino. She said the staff at the Starbucks called the police because the two men had not ordered anything while they were waiting for a friend. She said white customers were wondering why it's never happened to us when we do the very same thing. That's a quote. So clearly,
it's a problem.
It's a problem. So Starbucks is canceled. And I mean, as of right now, as far as I'm concerned, based on the information that I have, I'm good.
Yeah, they've been canceled for me for a little bit. But now I really can't. I can't patronize you at all. And your coffee ain't that good. It's metallic. And that's enough trash for today because I'm irritated.
Agreed.
Let's move on to Shout Out To My Sis.
Let's do it.
My sis is popping right now. Like.
Our shout out this week is for all of our brothers and sisters who showed up for the Getting Grown first anniversary live show.
Man, listen. Our show was on Friday, April 13th, as you may or may not have heard. Mm-hmm. And we were at the Arc Theater in Southeast DC, and it was sold out.
It was amazing.
And y'all came and supported us, and we are ever, ever, ever so grateful.
Super grateful.
We can't tell you how much it means that you guys would come and kick it with us for a little while. And
spend your monies.
Yeah, man. And I've been saying, I mean, it was never done anything like that before. It was really nerve-wracking. Mm-hmm. And but once we got on the stage, I felt comfortable. I can say that, the lights helped because I couldn't see anybody. But it was also kind of like a gift and a curse because I couldn't see whether or not people were laughing, yawning,
engaged,
rolling their eyes over it. But from the feedback that we received so far has been largely positive.
It has.
So and I'm grateful.
You guys are dope for that. And I guess now we can talk about other cities.
We can, because we made y'all a deal.
We did.
We said if we sell out our first, we'll go on the road. So hopefully we can
maybe we'll put out a poll.
Perhaps.
Let's put out a poll.
Where should we go?
Let's put out a poll of where we should go next. We're gonna give y'all, how many things can you put on a poll? 2 or 3?
Like a poll on Twitter?
Yeah.
4.
You put 4?
I don't think there's a limit, honestly.
No? Okay, well then we're going to put out some cities and we're going to see what kind of responses we get.
We're already cooking up something
yes.
in the spring.
Ooh,
hopefully when Springs decides to get off her butt and show up.
Yes.
But Yeah. So, look at that.
I
know. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to all of our friends who showed up. We had a special guest. We had a surprise for the girls. Fury Nation came and joined us to take out the trash.
He did, and it was trash to take out.
It was so much trash to take out. Crystal Jean kicked it with us around the kitchen table, and Dustin and Asante hosted the Q&A, and they opened up for us. So it was a good time. The Super Friends were in the building.
Absolutely. And shout out to Alex for everything.
Absolutely.
And just and damn it, I don't even have the damn thing on me. Nope, I'm going to do it next week.
What?
I want to shout out our wonderful photographers.
My
peoples.
Yes.
But I want to make sure I do it properly. So I'm going to make sure I get all that information. Because Keia and I are in the studio together this week.
Won't he do it?
So I'm going to get that information, and that's going to be my shout out next week.
Yeah, but shout out to y'all, man. We love you. We love you so much. Oh, and if I can quickly while I'm thinking about it. I had a customized jean jacket made. I reached out to my good friend, Sierra, the artist Sierra Lynn. I will include her contact information in the description box. But Sierra is a awesome artist and entrepreneur, and she does hand-painted custom jackets and anything. Like, she will paint anything. I've seen her paint Timbs and Uggs and Doc Martens, and she made me an awesome jacket.
She did.
That was a great tribute to my brother, and just kind of like featured a lot of the things that I say all the time, like God is not going to play you, and it was just awesome.
It had Getting Grown.
It had Getting Grown on it. It had Teen Type and Fast on it. I will also post a picture. Y'all support Sierra.
Yes.
She's doing awesome work. She, used to be a teacher, like a school teacher. She was laid off and went into business for herself, and has had lots and lots and lots of success over the last few years. Been featured on, television a couple of times, and has made pieces for lots of celebrities. Like, she's done some stuff for SWV and Tasha Cobbs, and just a whole she's out here. So
Sierra,
shout out.
I'll be calling you.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to you, Sierra. Thank you for my jacket. I love it, love it, love it. And y'all go check her out.
Yes, and Allison for the makeup.
Oh yes, Allison Facts Beauty busted and disgusted these faces.
She sure did.
She painted us down.
She beat us up.
I appreciate you, sis.
So we appreciate all of you guys. We appreciate everybody who took a part and made this a success. And we can't wait to see what everything grows into.
Yeah, man, we out here.
All right, boys and girls, men and women, cats and dogs, hamburgers and hot dogs, peas and rice. We're back at the kitchen table, and we're excited because we have a guest.
We do.
Oh, my gosh.
Keia is geeking. Beyonce is in the studio.
Oh, whoa.
The Beyonce of Higher Education.
Absolutely. And I'm just trying to be a young Cardi B. That's it.
Yeah.
So, I'm very excited because the one and only Dr. Laurie Patton-Davis is joining us today around the kitchen table.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, we're going to have so much fun. Dr. Davis is a professor of higher education at Indiana University. Mm-hmm. And she is the current president of the Association for the Study of Higher Education. Mm-hmm. And we are geeked to have her at the kitchen table today. We're going to have some conversation just about Laurie and who she is and her work, the awesome work that she's doing, centering on the perspectives of African Americans in post-secondary contexts, and just, all kinds of good stuff. Yeah. So we'll start. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh my gosh, we're so happy to have you. I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself because I probably couldn't do it any justice anyway. So just tell us about who you are, of course, Dr. Patton-Davis, as Dr. Patton-Davis, but who is Laurie?
Oh, wow. Let's see. Laurie is a Black woman, born and raised in East St. Louis, Illinois. And I am a mom of 2 bomb-ass kids.
That's it.
Parker and Preston.
Yes.
Wife of my husband, Tobias.
Come on, biblical
I
name.
am a scholar of higher education research. I study the experiences of Black women and girls throughout the educational pipeline. I think a lot of my professional reputation has come from studying issues of race and racism in higher ed. So scholar, researcher, public speaker, and now president of ASH, which since last year is now Ashe.
Yes.
Because it's so extra Black these days.
Ashe.
Change has come.
That's right.
Change has come.
Because we don't even be known as Ash.
Right.
We don't be Ash. But this is not Ashy. This is Ashe.
Yes.
Y'all better sit down.
Right.
And have, get comfortable in that. But that's awesome. You're the president of ASH. Let's talk a little bit about that right away.
Okay.
I was just curious in terms of, what does that mean? Tell us about what the job is and how you got it. Was it something that you looked to do? Was it something that you wanted? Or is it something that just happened?
It kind of just came. So ASH has been a really interesting intellectual space for me. Most folks who are, going through higher ed doctoral programs are encouraged by their mentors to go to ASH or whatever for professional development. But I was working full time doing my PhD, so I wasn't into ASH.
Right.
I didn't go until I got a faculty job, and I went. I enjoyed it, and while I was at ASH, just my network started building, and I found a space that really supported my research and work that I was doing. And so I would say maybe around 2010, I got the ASH Early Career Award, which is, a big deal or whatever. And I was the first Black woman to get that award. And now with this presidency, I'm the first Black woman president of ASH. And so
Beyonce's in the building out there.
Told y'all.
I only have a year, but I'm trying to turn ASH out.
Absolutely.
And so basically, the president, we do governance related things, but the chunk of my work is around the conference. And this year, the conference theme is Envisioning the Woke Academy.
Woke.
And I selected that theme, not with trepidation, but with a little hesitation, because I'm like, okay, we got all these older people. They ain't gonna know what woke is, but they're retiring, they're moving on. And one of my biggest critiques of higher ed in my research is around the fact that higher education ain't woke. When we think about the inequities in society, higher education has a major role in a lot of what we see. And so my goal was to really come up with a theme that would encourage our members to think about the critical nature of our research. Are we asking the right questions? Are we centering people? Are we using people and talking about their lives and then dismissing them? Just really be critically conscious about the research that we promote. Right. And so, how do we get in touch with history? Like, a lot of institutions are sort of trying to reckon with their past ties to slavery. And that's a really, big step. But there's a whole bunch of history that needs to be unpacked. And so that's really what the theme is. And I'm trying to create a space that's more community engaged. I think higher ed is really an insular space. And so how do we do work that feeds the community, that serves the community, that centers voices that are typically invisible when we think about higher ed research?
That's amazing. What was your major in undergrad?
I had a major in speech communication with a minor in sociology.
Okay, sociology as well. Hello,
I love sociology.
But how did you get into higher education?
Well, with our field, usually, if you're really involved as an undergraduate, I was in a sorority, homecoming queen, doing all this stuff, and just really involved on student government. And I didn't know that higher ed was a field that you actually could work in, right? And so I ended up doing my master's degree in student affairs and then my PhD in higher ed. And I didn't plan to be a faculty member, but I had a Black woman who said, you need to be a faculty member. We need to see more of you in the classroom.
Ooh, that sounds familiar.
Mary Howard Hamilton, shout out.
Yes.
So she was the one who was always there encouraging me. I remember I met her when I was doing my master's program, and I'm in this room full of white people. And they do this thing where, right, all the students who are visiting, they get to stand up and talk about where they're from. Most people don't know where East St. Louis is. So I stand up and I'm like, God, I don't want to do this. Nobody's going to cheer for me. You know, everybody else from Chicago and all these places. And Mary was a lone person, gave me a standing ovation because she's from Alton, Illinois, which is right next door. And so she was one of the first people within the higher ed space to sort of validate me and, you know, validate me being there and in that space. I, you know, got the degrees and kind of got nurtured into this faculty pathway. And it's been good so far.
And I'm sure as a Black woman that has led you to these other passions.
Yes. Yes.
Experiences and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I'm grinning because I feel like Jade was saying it's familiar because, you know, we've been friends for a while and she's watched me kind of figure out the pathway as well. And it's been awesome to have models like you, my chair, Sharon Freeze-Britt, and Kimberly Griffin, and, you know, all of the countless other women in our field who are doing this amazing work, who we get to come and engage with at these kind of conferences, these spaces. But when we get to our campuses, we find ourselves by ourselves a whole lot. Even in that, though, I think that we are kind of growing in number as a population of Black women, specifically in this field and in many fields. I want to talk more about you as the first Black woman to ASH and it being 2018. So I'm just wondering, like, you know, do you feel like, why is it just now? Like, having it, it's taken us a while to get to have a Black woman in this seat. And what do you think that's about?
Cricket.
Exactly. I'm sure there are lots of reasons, but
2018 don't mean shit. If we're just gonna be real, that don't mean nothing.
Clearly not.
I will give Ash credit in that I'm not the first woman of color. So there have been maybe 2 or 3 Latina presidents, and 2 Black men presidents. Yes. But I mean, in every category we think about, Black women are often, you know, thought about last, the afterthought. And so it's not surprising to me that it's taken to 2018. And honestly, I don't know who the next.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not the last.
Yeah.
But my feeling is that whether it's higher ed or any field, you know, Black women, you know, I look at Black women as possibility models. And so that's what I'm doing in this role. I don't, aside from talking about racism and hetero-cis patriarchy, I don't know why else. You know, Black women, you know, would be last. We should be first. We are first.
Absolutely.
People just don't know.
They know. That's why they keep trying to copy us. They just don't want to admit it.
I mean, love who we are, but don't love us, right?
Exactly.
So, you know, it's taken a long time, and I'm just going to try to do the best I can in these next several months to... What is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Slay.
Yes, slay.
All day.
Beyonce's language.
That's
slay.
right.
Yeah, you are her. She's you.
One and the same. So since we're talking about Black women, you know, we've discussed the different tropes that are oftentimes, you know, placed on us, like strong Black women trope, the angry Black women trope. We've talked a lot of, we've talked a lot about that, and how, you know, we have to kind of carry these things throughout our daily lives. And I'm just wondering, like, you know, I'm going to take a personal privilege to ask for my own advice. It's like, even within the space of our field, I felt pressure from, you know, white people, but also from other Black women and other people of color, you know, that feel that like to tell me how I have to exist in this space, you know, in order to have some level of success. You know, Kat and I work in the practice and policy space versus, you know, being traditional faculty, and that's a thing, you know. And I like to be myself. I'm from New York. I wear long nails, I'm bracelets, and I got blonde hair right now, and I do what I want to do. But it has gotten back to me that some people have felt away or felt like, or even me having this podcast, I wonder about if that compromises the integrity of my scholarship or how people perceive me. So I wonder if you could speak to some of those things, because a lot of us are in these spaces and feeling and dealing with this pressure, and trying to figure out how do we maintain ourselves and, you know, take care of ourselves, but still, you know, reach the goals that we've set professionally.
Right. So I've been lucky enough. So I had a Black woman mentor in the higher ed space, and then I've modeled a lot of that with Black women, you know, that I mentor. And my advice has always, so I love to tell people wear a dress, but that's because I like dresses. not because it needs to be to impress someone. Right. Like when we were coming in today, I was looking at y'all shoes, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, those are so cute. And so for me, and maybe I didn't always feel this way, but I feel this way now. Be who you are. Like, wear the nails, the bomb make. I like that highlight. The hair. Be comfortable in who you are, because you know you only have to answer to you. There, and anybody's discomfort really is about themselves. It's really not about you. I just say, do you? I do. Like when we were at lunch yesterday, and I was talking to Shayla about that picture, that collar.
Yes.
Like if you're gonna do you gotta be tight, right? Yeah, you gotta look good, the whole, head to toe. You gotta look good. But if it means, your feet hurt and you don't want to wear 5-inch heels, don't do it. Right. I gave that up a long time ago. I'm like, I'm walking around here with my colleagues, they outpacing me walking fast in them damn flats. And I'm gonna be trying to keep up in these high heel shoes that,
It ain't gonna work.
Yeah, these high heel shoes aren't writing the articles, they're not writing the books. And so, I'm just wear jeans, just look good.
Question for you, because you said you mentioned something interesting right there. You said you didn't always feel that way. Tell me about that a little bit. Tell us about that.
Oh, I think some of the socialization in graduate school and just throughout college was more about wearing a suit and wearing heels and always wearing pantyhose and all of those things. And I'm like, I'm not comfortable in that. You know how you're not comfortable with something, but you haven't reconciled what's wrong with it.
Right.
Right. And I just kind of grew into this space where I just didn't care. Like it wasn't enough to lose me in the process.
Right.
Like I'm going to be comfortable. I'm going to be cute, right. And I feel better presenting and talking with people when I feel comfortable.
Right.
And so I had to start making the process about me and not making other people feel comfortable, which I think many women of color, are taught to reduce ourselves so that other people can feel good around us. And
especially women of color.
Right.
Especially, I used to have this one lady, I worked in a law firm, and she used to come and tell me if something was low cut. I don't wear no low. First of all, I don't even have good cleavage. So I know I wasn't wearing low cut tops, but if she saw a hint of anything, it was always something. And I feel like a lot of times, and we've kind of touched on this a little bit, that we kind of put that pressure on ourselves and each other as people of color. And half the time, white people don't be paying attention to that kind of stuff because they'll go out looking all kinds of ways.
Any kind of way. They show up any kind of way.
I have been in so many departments where
what's that on your
white
jeans?
men got T-shirts,
exactly,
wearing any kind of old thing. And I'm like, dang. Now, if I did that, I'd be called raggedy and all of that. But at this point, I'm like, I can do that, but I'm going to do it the way I want to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just now I can make sense of it and talk about it. And before, it was like, dang, there's something out right here. How do I make sense of this? And now I can, actually articulate it.
You really nailed it when you said, the things that we do or don't do to make other people comfortable. I think for me, one of the things that clicked for me is when I realized that I have to be comfortable with the space that I take up first, right? And it just is what it is, and I don't have to apologize for it. And I don't have to explain it. And people's opinions don't necessarily have to change it. People be like, oh, your nails are long, like that is correct.
You're right. Yes. Or you don't have no nails.
Right.
Right. And the thing, the part about our own people, this whole idea of respectability politics and who you need to be. Yeah. Like, I love Cardi B and I love Tiffany Haddish. I love that they're loud. I love that they just do them, they do themselves, and it makes other people, sometimes Black people, feel uncomfortable because, again, a lot of people feel like we need to cater to this white dominant way of being, and I love that they don't.
But the thing about it is, it's not even a white dominant, because it's like we said, white people just do what they want. So it's like, why can't we?
That's the privilege, because they operate in the privilege.
But they got the credibility
exactly.
and they get the benefit of the doubt anyway.
They do.
And you know, black people often feel like we got to be a certain way to just get the benefit of the doubt.
Prove. The proving thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I went to Chelsea Market one day, dressed how I dress. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was a dress down day. And I know I got followed around multiple. Somebody came and offered me their chips. Like, they were like, I have these extra chips. I'm not going to eat them, but I just don't want to throw them away. Would you? I was like, come on, fam. I just bought myself some tacos. Like, get out of here. I'm not homeless. You know what I'm saying? But we get called homeless and homely and raggedy, like you said, and all kinds of shit. But they can do what they want. We need to start doing what we want.
Yes.
And that's why I'm so excited about envisioning the Woke Academy, because I feel like it's our chance to do what we want. I'm excited about it too. Ooh. I feel like it's our chance to do what we want. And I really love the engagement piece. Mm-hmm. Like you said, we sit from the ivory tower and we talk about the problems of the world amongst ourselves, but we don't, reach out to the people who we could actually help.
Interview them, get all the knowledge, and then leave them. So.
And allow them to tell their stories. Right. Because their stories are often centered in ways that are not fair to them. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited. Can you tell the people about, we're envisioning the Woke Academy is going to be happening at the ASH conference in November in Tampa, Florida. Mm-hmm. So can we talk a bit about what that's going to be like?
Oh, some of the things I have planned, or about the theme? Oh,
well, either or. The theme. Ooh. We can talk about what's on deck.
Everything.
All the things we want to know.
I can't mention keynote speakers because I don't have any yet.
We're working on that.
Kimberly Crenshaw.
Yes, indeed.
Get this. I'm trying to work on some speakers and really get people who are beyond higher ed. So I think, again, when we talk about higher ed research, it is all higher ed. Like, everybody cites the same people.
Right.
And I come from a space where citing someone is like real estate, and so the same people get cited over and over again and their work grows. People of color, not so much.
Right.
And a lot of the stuff that I use is from other fields and sociology, Black studies. And so there are people in these fields who do higher ed work, but they don't see ASH as a space.
Right.
And so I'm trying to broaden what we mean when we talk about higher ed research and who can do higher ed research. But there are a couple of things I'm trying to do. I don't know that they will happen. But I am trying to partner with the African American Policy Forum to do a town hall looking at incarcerated and formerly incarcerated women and girls of color and their college pathways. I don't know if that will happen.
Yeah.
I have a meeting today. I'm going to pray.
We're going to pray with you. We're going to pray with you.
Yeah.
Also, given that we're in Florida and there are so many HBCUs, I'm trying to do something with local high schools, a film viewing of Tell Them We Are Rising.
Yes.
And they have some of our members engage in roundtable discussions with students and their families about, these different aspects of college, whether it's the admissions process or financial aid. I am trying to do something related to refugee and undocumented students in higher ed. Again, that's an area I don't feel like we can be in Tampa and not do that.
Yeah, totally.
So figuring out, how to make that unfold is in the works. What else am I doing? I mean, we talked about so many things. Look, I tried to do a presidential podcast, but Kat told me no. She was like, no, we're going to get you on other people's podcasts.
Yes.
Oh, yes. So the other big thing about the conference is that we're commemorating 1968. So I am hoping to hear back from these folks about a grant. I want to do an exhibit that looks at higher education in 1968 and student protests and activism. Yes. And it's supposed to be reflective so we can think, okay, it's 2018, 50 years later, and we're still seeing, some of the same things. And how might our contributions as researchers and scholars help to shift higher education?
Girl, you're busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We love it.
I love it. Have you seen the HBO? So it just came out. It's an HBO and Vice documentary called "Raised in the System."
You with Omar?
With Michael K. Williams. You
Omar.
You better reference The Wire.
Look, I love The Wire. Oh, I could watch it over and over again.
We went to the screening for it the other day, and he was there, and he spoke, and I encourage you, especially I'm praying for your meeting today because I think that is beautiful. I think you would really, really love that documentary. It's coming out every Friday.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
And it's talking about the youth to prison pipeline and how that starts so young, and it starts from people with their parents, and how they're trapping a lot of these young Black and Latinos in the system so early that they don't even have an opportunity to figure out how to work their way out. So. Okay. Yeah, check that out.
I just read Monique Morris's Push Out.
Yep.
And oof.
Yeah.
That one was a hard one.
Yeah.
That one was a hard one. And I think with this conversation around incarceration and the system, it's so important, but it's also unintentionally male dominated.
Yes.
Right. And we forget about our girls.
Yes.
And so I'm really, really committed to sort of illuminating that piece.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of work on Black women.
I love Black women.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
We want to hear it. Let the people know more about your research on Black women. I know the book is coming.
Well, it's out.
It's out.
So the most recent book is Critical Perspectives on Black Women in Higher Ed. And again, there's been this burgeoning body of research on Black men and boys.
Oh,
and
yes.
The My Brother's Keeper initiative, which was wonderful.
Absolutely.
You know, not without critique, but it was wonderful.
Right.
And it shed light on so many issues. And all while that conversation was going on, I'm like, well, what about Black
us?
girls?
What about us?
What about
Right.
Black girls? And so since I'm in higher ed, I have seen all of these programs focusing on, getting Black men to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the way I don't know if you all remember this headline that Black women are the most educated women.
That lie.
And it's a lie.
That lie.
It is a lie.
Right.
And some Black women sort of took it up as, yay, but this one right here, I'm like, well, no, not so much.
Yeah.
And so the Critical Perspectives book was really a chance for me to bring together some Black women scholars to kind of talk about some of these issues in higher ed. Where do Black women find support? What do they do upon graduation? What does it mean to not just be Black, but to be Afro-Caribbean? Or, just trying to look at these multifaceted ways of understanding Black women's experiences in college.
Absolutely.
That book is out. The book I'm working on right now with Venus Evans Winters and Charlotte Jacobs is on Black women and girls across the educational pipeline. And we got some heavy hitters writing, but it will deal with, disabilities, the justice system, the way for-profit institutions prey on Black women in community colleges. And so it's intended to look across the educational pipeline at Black women and girls.
I love Dr. Evans. I met her at
She did.
Oh, she's everything.
She did.
I met her at the CREA conference, the Critically Responsive Evaluation Assessment Conference in Chicago in October. And we were in a session together, and we just kind of connected because even in the course of the conversation about like what is culturally relevant evaluation, the narrative of the Black male was kind of like the center, and she and I were just kind of like, well, excuse me,
right?
we do also need to address certain things, these things as they relate to the experiences of Black women and the multidimensional experiences of Black women. Like we're all not one size fit all. So
and that shows just how forgettable Black women and girls can be in conversations, and it's not even intended, but I mean you just forget
while we're sitting in the room, like while we're right there. So it totally happens. I'm excited.
Let's shift it because we talked about your work. I mean, girl, I thought I was busy. You are on a whole different planet. Like seriously, you on Pluto? It ain't even a planet no more.
Right.
How do you balance all of that? Like you mentioned Parker and Parker and Preston. Beautiful names. How do you balance all that?
I don't feel like I balance. I negotiate my time.
Ooh, say a word.
I negotiate.
Yeah.
So I'm really lucky to have a partner who gets it, who is willing to let me shine. Like, he knew what I did when we got together, and he's the one, he put together the website. He's oh, you doing the thing today? I need to update the website. You know? And so he is incredibly supportive of me and the work that I do. If it wasn't for him, and of course my faith and family, like, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to be here if he, wasn't, pushing me, saying, do this. He knows I want to do film. He bought me the books to read through because I don't have time to go to school. He's like, just read this. You can do it. And so he is the biggest advocate who listens to my ideas, tells me when something is whack. He's amazing.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar. I got one of those.
Yes. And if you don't have one of those, I can't imagine, what some women go through who are, married and they don't have that sort of support. And then the other thing is collaboration. So in higher ed and just in the academy, this belief that you need to be individual, sole author, first author, it doesn't breed a climate of collaboration. But I don't know any other way to do something unless it's, within community. Right. And so, every time there's an opportunity, if I can't do it, I'm like, I can't do it, but can you talk to these 4 or 5 people who all Black women, about, an opportunity, or if there are, ways to collaborate, Kat has been like Team Laurie. Yeah. So, it's just through really other Black women lifting me up.
You hear that, Onika? Do you hear that, Onika? You hear that?
This message is for you, Nicki Minaj. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just lifting up, and I can't imagine doing it without, Black women supporting me.
Because the problems that we're trying to solve are huge problems.
And I think it's Black women got that potion, and I don't think it's. So I know a lot of people love Black girl magic. I love it too, but I just don't want people to forget the labor.
Yeah.
It's magic, but it's work.
It is a whole lot of work.
So
and we tired.
Exhausted. Okay. I'm gonna go to sleep in that cab on the way back to the hotel.
Listen.
But it's just work. But it's work that I love. As long as it's, uplifting Black people, Black women. And then I got a bomb ass mother.
Yeah.
Who just keeps it real.
Me too.
Yes. Keeps it real. Oh my God. And 2 sisters.
Yes.
Who, helped raise me. My father isn't with us anymore, but I just have always been around community. So I never feel like anything I do is honestly about me. It's really, about community and, building something.
Absolutely. I have one last question for you. I don't know if Keia has any more.
Go for it.
Where you get them glasses?
Let me tell you, this thing. So self-care is a really big word now, right?
Yeah.
And I used to go and get my glasses. I would do lens crafters, and I'm like, I'm gonna invest.
Yes, because you wear them on your face.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay
absolutely
this extreme amount of money for these glasses because I want to.
Amen.
I'm not going to worry about, these other things. And so that's sort of another thing that I've grown into, that I can care for other people and care for me too. Like if I don't care for me at the center of it all, then I'm worthless to everybody else. And so right. I'm just trying to
You see how she ain't tell me where she got them glasses? Though.
Oh let me tell you.
That's how we do. Girl.
These are Burberries, but
I
got some Burberry. Y'all need to start supporting Black women and girls.
That's right.
I also got some Balenciagas. Those I'm gonna hit you with those at Ash.
Okay. Yeah. I'm at Ash, but my glasses ain't.
All right. I do have one more question.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to know what Laurie Patton-Davis does for fun.
Oh.
I want to know how she turns up. I want to know if there's a turn up.
Yeah, because I see the
we
see the rat. It has poked
it's just
its
a little
head.
bit of rat on the inside. You got to let her out sometime.
It's in there. I do a lot. So I really love, tonight is going to be a struggle because there's this party tonight, but it's also the finale of Walking Dead and the beginning of Fear the Walking Dead. So I watch that every time. I love that.
TV.
I do love TV.
Self-care. I love TV.
But I love travel. when I have an opportunity to travel, I take it. I love roller coasters.
Me too.
Ooh, me too.
So
we going to Cedar Points.
Yes. I love roller coasters.
Hell yeah. It's going to be me and the doctors.
Mm-hmm. Yes. We have to bring Dustin because Dustin loves roller coasters.
Jade, Dustin, and the doctors.
Oh, it'll be fun.
We're going to make it a special.
And I love music.
Yes.
The song that I have been listening to repeatedly over and over again is Prepared by Jill Scott.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be.
Hey, sing, baby. Sing, baby. Hey.
I love me some Jill Scott.
Oh my gosh.
But anytime
when she's singing.
Yes. Because sometimes when she speaks.
Most of the time.
But we don't have to talk about that.
I know.
We don't have to talk about that.
I love when she sings too. I love when she sings.
She gotta sing. I love Laura Hill when she be showing up on time.
When she shows up, right? When she shows up.
Well.
But yeah, music just, I don't know, transports me to another space. And I can listen to it at home and dance by myself.
Yep.
Or tonight, I'm going to dance at this party.
The Black and Brown.
Yes.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there.
Come on, people have their cameras out. That's the Ash president dancing. Yeah.
It sure is. And she's on beat. Please take note.
Right.
I'm coming.
Please take note.
Hi, I'm Doctor.
You don't have to be
Chef.
You can come with me. It's
Dr. Chef.
Well, Laurie, we are so grateful. We hope that you have enjoyed your time with us because we have had so much fun.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all are great. Keep
Hopefully
doing this.
Yes.
Keep doing this.
Thank you.
You haven't heard the rest of the show.
No. Well, we have fun. Yeah, it's our self-care.
We do. We have a good
now,
time.
y'all edit me so I sound good to the people.
Oh, girl, you sound amazing.
Ty,
okay.
work your magic.
Hopefully, this is not the last of our collaborations, and we'll be able to work together in the future.
Well, I'm gonna try to get y'all. I'm gonna try to have Podcast Central at Ash.
We're trying to be there.
Yes, be
Let's
there.
be there.
I would love
We want to. We would
I
love
want to bust up in the place and
Yes.
ruin everything that everybody's
Oh
learned.
my gosh! So, Florida, stand up. Florida, if y'all want to see us at Ash, if y'all want to come to Tampa and hang out with us, let us know. We will definitely come.
Yes.
But yes, we appreciate you so much.
do.
We appreciate you so much.
Thank you for taking your
for
time.
having.
Thank you so much.
We love you, Laurie.
We're going to put all the links in the description box of where you can find Laurie.
Yes.
And you have any closing words?
No, I just love Laurie.
Yes.
Oh.
Me too now. Me too now. I'm about to come in my jeans and shake my ass with you tonight.
Let's do it.
All right, bet.
All right. Thank you, Laurie.
Thank you.
This week's podcast is brought to you by Everlywell. Who has the time to get lab work done? Figuring out the cost, what the results mean, even where to get them done is its own battle. But now it's easy to order the tests you want at Everlywell.com. Everlywell is an at-home health testing company that offers a variety of tests, from food sensitivity, which measures your sensitivity to 96 different foods that may be causing you discomfort, to metabolism, to an at-home STD test. Yes, you can test for STDs all from the comfort and privacy of your home. Each test is physician-reviewed, private, simple, and processed through a certified lab.
All you need to do is head over to everlywell.com, choose your test, and they'll be shipped directly to your doorstep. Once you collect your sample and send it back to Everlywell's certified lab partner, you'll get your doctor-reviewed, easy-to-read results online in days. No more sitting in wait rooms, no more mystery bill, and no more waiting on your results. Head to everlywell.com and use promo code GROWN to take 15% off your first order. That's EVERLYWELL.com, promo code GROWN for 15% off your first order. Take control of your health today with Everlywell's at-home health tests. Your tests on your time and on your terms with Everlywell.
Honestly?
Truly.
It is time for the Honesty Box.
Let's do it.
Hi, Jade and Keia.
Hey.
Hi, Keia and Jade.
Oh, well, hello.
Yes, hello. I have to make sure I read everything properly.
Okay.
Please give me an anonymous name. Okay. I've been a long-time listener since day one and fan since before that. You guys always give such sound advice that resonates with me, and boy, do I need some sound advice right about now.
Oh, Lord.
I am a 23-year-old Christian African woman in a relationship with a man from a Muslim Middle Eastern background.
Okay.
We've been together for 4 years and are very happy together. My parents found out about us sometime last year, and the roof hit the fan. My parents are strong African Christians and were not okay with finding out that their daughter was with someone who was not of God. To keep the peace in the family, I told them that we'd broken up, although we are still very much together. We tried separating for a bit, but that didn't work out because it was something neither of us wanted. My parents were worried that I would be brainwashed and will convert to Islam, something I have zero intentions of doing. And after my whole life being raised in the church, I've learned to judge and relate with people based on the goodness of their hearts, rather than the label they use to identify themselves. Amen. My partner has an incredible soul that has helped me through some of the toughest times in my life. His support has grown even stronger in recent times with these parental issues coming up. I no longer think of him as a boyfriend. I think of him as a partner, as that is a role he has grown to fill over time. We never argue about religion, as he isn't overly religious himself and supports me and my faith. I was never very close to my parents, but I loved them. We just have different values. They dismissed my partner before they ever met him simply because of his difference in faith. That is a value that I will never expose and wouldn't want to pass on to my future children. The problem is I'm starting to feel a bit of guilt lying to my parents about it now. I also feel bad hiding a partner who is amazing and truly deserves better than he has received so far in terms of judgment from my family. To top it off, I have to move back home for a bit of financial reasons, and my parents who live in Africa will be visiting often. I'll be living with my siblings, some of whom are unaware that he and I are back together. We will be longish distance, 2 hours away, and I have to hide my relationship from others the entire time. What should I do? Should I tell them about him and possibly risk losing my parents, or wait until I am independent and in a really good place financially to reveal the truth and damn the consequences? Keia, I'd like to get your opinion on this, as I know that you take your faith and walk with God very seriously. What advice would you give a friend who was in my predicament? Please help. P.S. You have a P.S. We, of course, aren't silly. We recognize that a life together will have its problems. We have discussed the major issues we'll face and agree on a lot of the difficult decisions to be made. At this point, I just want a chance to be happy with the person that I love. I would appreciate any advice I can get. Okay.
Well, Lord.
So what are we going to call her?
Let's call her Shaka.
I was going to call her Yoked.
Yoked?
Yeah, for
equally yoked.
Unevenly yoked.
So stupid. I don't want to call a person yoked.
I know.
I don't know why I said Shaka. I was thinking of Shaka Khan. But
we call her Shaka.
We can call her Shakia.
Shakia. You go ahead. This was for you, boo.
Nah, man. I need time to think. Okay. Damn. All right. So Shakia is 23?
Yes. She's been with this man for 4 years.
And she said she's about to move back in with her parents or move in with a sibling?
Yeah, with a sibling.
So I feel like if it were me, I'm nervous because I'm saying, I think I don't want to tell her to do something that would that would compromise her living situation.
Obviously, yes.
I mean,
be responsible.
I want you to be responsible and to think about that first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I also feel like you have to make decisions for yourself and learn how to take full responsibility for those choices, right? I do not feel like this is something you should lie about.
Yeah.
Because I think that's going to... I don't think that's going to help. Like, if your parents are upset already that you are in a relationship with someone who's not of the same faith of yours, they're, if they find out that you've been lying, like, it's going to make the situation worse. A lot worse. If this is something or someone that you could see yourself being with long term, then I do think that there is value in sitting down with your family and just being very honest and letting them know that. But you have to be willing and ready to deal with however, whatever the outcome of that conversation is.
But you said, damn the consequences.
Right. I don't think that, I do feel like at 23 years old, it's really early in your life to be, I'm trying to think of the words.
What, in a serious relationship?
to be...
You have time.
You have time as well.
You have time. Yeah. And that's not taken away from...
the love that you share with this person.
Not at all. We're not minimizing
Not at all.
You do have time.
You got lots of time to progress to a point in a relationship where... Because, I mean...
You're kind of in a cool place right now. And I say that because you're not getting ready to get married tomorrow.
I hope.
But, I hope. God, Jesus. But at the same time, you are an adult. And I'm hoping that what you can do in this situation is kind of navigate as an adult, which means if you're living with a sibling, I don't see why you have to disclose all of your comings and goings and all of what you're doing. And that's not encouraging you to lie, because I don't want you to lie.
Right.
Because that, like Keia said, that's going to exacerbate the situation. That's going to make it way, 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 way worse.
Right.
And you're too old to be lying, if we're just going to be perfectly honest.
Agreed.
Me personally, because I kind of dealt with a situation with my family.
Mm-hmm.
When I originally got pregnant, I wasn't married.
Mm-hmm.
And needless to say, my mother was very unhappy about that. She was very unhappy about that. And she had expressed some things where I might have thought maybe I would never speak to my mother again.
Mm.
But we have since worked past that, and my mother is the most amazing grandmother on the entire planet.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of what she has expressed out of anger or disappointment or just a disagreement. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't agree with everything that I don't agree with that, but I have to respect how she feels. Those are her feelings. But it's still my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when it comes down to it, she's not going to leave me.
Right.
And I feel like, and same for my father, just my parents in general. And I feel like with you, your parents are not going to be happy with your decision because they feel the way that they feel, and you're not going to be able to change that.
Right.
I don't know if you need to take such a stand right this second.
Yeah, because I feel like it's not, you have to pick your battles and know, like, when a conversation is no longer a productive conversation.
Right.
So it's not like you're going to your parents and asking them permission to date who you want to date.
Right.
You're just saying, this is what it is. And I do not have to qualify it to you.
Absolutely.
Now, if you're living with them or living with your sibling, they do have the right to say, I don't want him over here. I don't want to do this. But they cannot say that you cannot date him because, like, what is that? I mean, so yeah, I think that this is definitely something that you're going to have to think through for yourself. I hope that the advice that we're sharing is useful to you. I mean, for me, it's hard for me to speak to whether or not I would do it or how I would handle it. Because I mean, I think I am a Christian, and my faith is a very big part of who I am and how I function. And it does impact who I date and who I don't date. But I don't know if it would have, I don't want to say I don't know if it would have, but the way that I date now is not the way that I dated when I was 23.
Oh, not at all.
So, that's what I'm saying. I feel like you have time to kind of work through this. And that's what I'm saying. If this is someone who you see yourself being with long term, like if you're thinking towards like marriage and those kinds of things, then you will have to sit down and have a serious conversation with your partner and negotiate what that's going to look like, what that's going to mean, not only for right now, but for the future. And, it is something that you're going to have to be prayerful about and ask for direction on how, like, what decisions you need to make and what will be best for you and your family going forward. But like we've said before, when you get to a certain age, you stop asking for permission to do stuff. You just tell people what it is.
It is, including your family.
Exactly. Especially your family.
And 9 times out of 10, because I'm not going to say it happens every time, but 9 times out of 10, it's your family. They love you. You all may not speak for a little bit. You may have some problems, but ultimately, I don't think your family's going to leave you. I don't think your family's going to abandon you for the rest of your life.
Right.
They will express their disappointment. They have expressed their disappointment, but I don't see how they will disown you. And I hope that's not an outcome. You know what I'm saying? I really, really hope it's not. But that's not the actions of a loving parent. So, I wish you the best in working this situation out. It's not an easy one, you're more than welcome to write us.
Yeah, I'm praying for you, sis.
Yeah, we got you. But yeah, that's not an easy decision. That's something that you're gonna have to really, really think through.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Word.
Thank you for writing in. Continue to send your honesty box questions, petty peeves, kitchen talk table suggestions, and everything else in between to gettinggrownpodcast@gmail.com. And we will move right on along to the peeves de petty.
True that.
And I want to be very responsible of the things I say to my sister. Because everybody know I can be real petty. P-E to the T-T-Y, honey.
It's time to be petty. It's my favorite time of day. I have a beef. I have a beef with the weather. I would like to say that I am tired. I'm tired of coats and jackets and scarves and hats and gloves. I'm tired of socks and shoes. I'm tired. And I feel like in April, we should be free from these things. But here we are, yet bundled up. So, I don't know. My beef is with the Lord, I guess. I don't know. I'm just saying that spring is not feeling us, evidently.
No,
I wish that she would, get over herself and do her job. I mean, we all got to go to work.
Come out the room.
You know what I'm saying, sis? Like, you just locked in your room like you just not going to do what you supposed to do. Like, hello, sis, you don't get these privileges. This is not how this works. No. If I got to go to work, then you got to come to work too, sis.
You got to spring. You got to come out.
I mean,
over it.
Truly.
I really am. This has literally been 12 years of winter.
Bruh.
And I'm over it. I'm tired. It's dreary. It's taking a toll on niggas' moods.
Listen, we all just out here angsty and irritable and cold.
Yeah. Cussing each other out.
I'm sick of it.
I don't want to wear. I have on a coat right now.
Bruh.
Like a coat.
And I didn't bring, because I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe because it was warm as jacks on Friday, I was thinking, oh, it's going to be nice. So when I packed, I didn't pack appropriately. So I got on this little leather jacket.
I know that's not enough.
Insufficient. I'm telling you.
I
totally
know that's
insufficient.
Not enough.
So I'm out here and just hoping that I won't get the pneumonias because, spring wants to sleep in. You know what I'm saying? She don't want to come to work.
She about to get fired.
Listen, I don't got time for her.
And I'm not hiring Winter in her place, so she better figure it out.
I will say, though.
You got kids to feed.
Listen.
Yeah.
Let me just say this.
Say it,
and I'm going to let you get to your petty peeve.
I'm still
thinking. That the Seasons came to work on time when Obama was president.
Talk about it.
That's all I got to say.
This ain't nothing but Satan.
The Lord, the Seasons are upset.
I blame Satan and Onika. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
My petty peeve. So I went out to eat before I left DC.
Where'd you go?
Farmers and Distillers.
Which one?
The one in Washington, D.C.
Oh, there's several in Washington.
Isn't there only one Farmers and Distillers and the rest are like
Farmers, Fishers in Vegas?
Yeah, and a whole string of other restaurants.
You went? Yeah.
But I went to the Farmers and Distillers.
I think I know.
On Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yes. So they had a buffet brunch.
Oh, yes. And it's delicious.
It was tasty.
My Lord.
They got sriracha.
They got the thick cut bacon.
They have the thick bacon.
God is in it.
Mad meat.
My God.
They had a breakfast fried rice and they had homemade donuts. Like, I was very pleased.
I just be at the Bacon Man with my plate, like.
Oh, no, I just got it myself.
Please,
I was very happy with all of my selections. Had to add a touch of salt and pepper, but that's fine.
Listen.
You got to make sure that you cater to all types of people. But my petty peeve this week is for the lady who worked behind the counter near the donuts. The staff was like all black except for like this manager who was just fine, and then her. Okay? Oh, no. And Latino. It was people of color. It was a mostly people of color staff, which I really appreciated. And I go and I'm getting my donuts and shit. They have creme brulee donuts. They have all kinds of stuff. So I'm, stuffing my face and being ridiculous. And I see this thing that has ice cream.
Yeah.
And a scoop in some water and 2 labels that told you what kind of ice cream it was.
Right.
This is a buffet brunch.
Yes.
So, and I'm getting all kinds of items.
Yes.
I'm by the dessert bar.
Right.
Of course I think y'all got ice cream to go with these donuts. 'Cause I'm fat.
Okay.
So, I'm about to eat this.
Okay.
She gonna tell me, excuse me, that's not a part of the brunch.
The donuts?
No, the ice cream.
Why it's over here then?
But it's like the way she excuse me, that's not a part of the brunch. I'm like, well, listen, bitch, it's 2 labels right here that told me what kind of ice cream it was. It's a scoop inside some water.
Well, what is it a part
and
of?
A metal thing that lifts up and is right by the donuts. So don't talk to me like I'm doing something absurd, like I'm a child behind the counter at a restaurant, or like I'm somewhere that I don't have no business being. Bitch, it's a buffet.
But what is it over here for if it's not?
If it's for y'all,
why is it out with the buffet thing?
Put it behind the counter then. Don't put it with a sign that identifies what kind of ice cream it was and then talk to me like I'm stupid. And that has been the trait. There we go. Petty peeves. That has been the thread and the theme this weekend for me. White women have been talking to me reckless. Lord, it was yesterday, really. Yesterday's theme was white women are going to talk to me reckless. I had to talk to an insurance adjuster on the phone.
Okay.
She asked me a question. She was talking to Tristan, but she asked me a question since I was involved. And then she asked another dumbass question. And I was like, well, excuse me, what? Excuse me. I'm not talking to you now. I need to talk to Mr.
What? There's a boldness that's going on here.
I said, have you ever been slapped through a phone?
I don't get it.
I was like, have you ever had a hand reach out of your phone and smack the fire out of you? Because it's about to happen. I said, you are passive aggressive and condescending. I said, and just because you have smiles in your tone doesn't mean you get to talk. I was like, you have lost your damn mind. I was like, fix your fucking tone before you continue with this conversation. I don't give a fuck who you're talking to. I don't care. Don't you ever fix your lips to ever speak to me like that again. I don't care if we are behind glass. I don't care if we on the phone or we face to face. I don't care what it is. Don't ever talk to me like that again. You've lost it. Woo, triggered again. I am triggered.
Clearly.
Because white women been talking to me crazy all weekend and I really don't have, I have negative time for that.
Oh, listen, like the white man called me sis.
Excuse me?
The white man called me sis. After the show on Friday, we went to get food and I was parking my car.
Yeah.
And my windows were down because it was really nice outside.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Toya was in the passenger seat.
She was.
As I'm parking, the car that was coming up the street in the opposite direction, it was like, there was lights. The man looked at me and he was like, damn, sis, them earrings is big. Those earrings are really big. And I had an out-of-body experience because I'm just like, hey, so wait a minute.
And then she told me.
And I was like, first of all, I am not now, nor will I ever be your sis, sir.
Ever.
What?
And he proceeded to roll his window all the way down and stare.
He was like...
Because they were in traffic.
They look good on you, though. I was like, sir, first of all, don't sis me.
Don't ever sis me.
Don't you sis me. I don't know you. You don't even meet the criteria to ever be my brother. Like, what?
My brother will never have a fuchsia penis when he gets excited. So don't you ever fix your Caucasian ass lips to say no wild shit to me about no motherfucking sis.
He was like, bro. I said, if you ever in your white life, you need to think twice before you sis a black woman.
Thrice.
What is wrong with you? And he was just like, they look nice. I was like, proceed. Then drive off.
And then he was in traffic, so he was staring.
Awkward.
He was staring awkwardly at our entire group after
because we all look like, say a sis one more time.
One more time. We were standing on the curb. I looked that nigga right in his eyes. I was like, you said what to her? And he kept looking at me and I kept looking at him until his car was out of sight.
You know how you're so stunned when somebody says something so crazy to you, you can't even get a response fast enough? Toya was Toya. Toya was like, she was like, he said, your earrings them earrings are big, sis. Toya was like, your face is big.
She did.
Your face is big. We was like totally disgusted. How would you ever? I was like, don't you ever speak to me? Who are you?
Who are you?
Why are you even talking to me? Disgusted.
In your Chevy Blazer. They don't even make those anymore.
Like,
anyway.
He was coming back from the Washington. I guess I'm assuming because we were by the national.
Oh, the Make America Great Again baseball game.
Lord have mercy. But
I've never seen so many red hats in my life.
I was triggered. I mean,
the
Nationals hat is a red hat, but it looks awful when you're. I don't know.
Any red hat with a dad hat is a hat to me.
Oh my God.
That I don't want no parts of. And we went into the Bonchon Chicken, and it was mad red shirts and red hats, and I was like, we've got to go.
We can't stay here, guys. I don't feel safe.
We can't be here. I don't feel comfortable.
Okay. But yeah, that's this episode, man.
That's this episode of Getting Grown. Thank you guys once again so much for being so supportive of Keia and I as we have stumbled and toddlered our way through this first year of this podcast.
Busting our heads inside of this podcast every week. Like, I guess what? I don't get it.
Before we close out, I know that we have not mentioned as frequently as we did for the first book, but we are reading An American Marriage.
Yes, by Tayari Jones.
By Tayari Jones for the Getting Grown Book Club for the month of April.
Yes, indeed.
So discussions will begin in May. Once again, that is An American Marriage by who, sis?
Tayari Jones.
That's right. So we will make sure to put the link in the description box on where you can purchase. But you guys get your discussions ready for May.
It's a good book.
Yeah.
My wig is still shifted to the left.
I'm really hyped to get into it. And again, remember that the discussions surrounding the book clubs we try to apply them to life.
Yeah. So even if you haven't read the book or finished reading the book, you shouldn't feel like you can't listen.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll chat. It's gonna be a good time.
In the meantime,
and in between time,
drink your water.
Mind your business and moisturize because
your black will crack if it's dry.
Bye.
Later. Thanks again to Everlywell for supporting this week's show. Finding the time to get a lab test is almost impossible, but now it's easy to order the test you want at everlywell.com.
Everlywell is an at-home health testing company that offers a variety of physician-reviewed private tests from food sensitivity to metabolism to thyroid. No more sitting in waiting rooms or waiting on your results. Head to everlywell.com and use promo code GROWN to take 15% off your first order. Everlywell, your tests on your time and on your terms.